So we start out with Edward Phelan. He's this guy, and he just comes and he moves into this area, and there's a whole bunch of trees and grass and shrubs and stuff. And he moves in, and he's like, I'm going to claim this creek, because no one else was there. So Edward Phelan claims this creek, and he names it after himself. So it's Phelan Creek. Next, there comes this guy, and he's like, I'm going to buy this for you a couple years later. Phelan was all like, okay. And so the guy, he then takes the creek, and he has the land now. So he goes ahead, and he turns it into a sawmill. And so they make, they turn trees into dust and stuff. And just south of that, where the sawmill and the train come rolling by, develops a small town. And this town is made by Swedes. So Swedish immigrants come, and they build some houses, and eventually they name this place Swede Hollow. And after they leave, other immigrants come. And so these immigrants are like Polish, and they're also like Polish Mexican Americans, and eventually the city declares Swede Hollow a health hazard because of the lack of sewage systems and city water that was there. Now, a little bit west of Swede Hollow, there was this place, and the people named it Railroad Island because of all the railroad trucks that were there. So there's this place called Railroad Island, and before the Civil War, it was home to some really wealthy people of St. Paul. So they all lived there. But then in the 1960s, the Swedes and other immigrants who could move out of Swede Hollow decided to move up there, and they lived there. In the 1980s, lots of people started to leave the District 5 to go find better jobs because there weren't enough in their area, and they weren't high paying like they wanted. So they left, but other immigrants were coming in, and these immigrants were Hmong. So this is when the Hmong population of District 5, their grandparents and great-grandparents moved in. So they started a whole new population of District 5. And they were welcomed by people like Bruce Vento and the people that stayed in District 5. Today, despite the bad media that District 5 and the East Side have been getting, there are people who are making things better by building new restaurants that are packed with people all the time, and building co-ops so that more people will come here and see the good things that District 5 and the East Side have to offer, and also building a really good community and more so that people will say that District 5 is the best.